Welcome to our Art Source Happy Hour. We're all stuck at home, and Sarah and I have been trying to think of ways where we can connect with our community and really catch up and see our colleagues and friends that we miss. So we thought we'd invite you to have a drink with us and sit down with some people from the art world that we love and see how they're doing these days.
So we're super excited to be hosting Danielle Gorodenzik and Jenna Romano, who are the founders of Imprint, the international art book fair based in Jerusalem. We love what you're doing, and so welcome. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
With pleasure.
Cheers. First of all, we need that glass of wine, that's for sure, and beer.
Oh my God. Cheers.
Okay. So we can start with you basically introducing yourself and introducing your platform Imprint.
Yeah, sure. Should I start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I'm Jenna Romano, originally from New York. I moved to Israel about 10 years ago. And since moving here, I've been very involved in Jerusalem's contemporary art scene. I have a platform called Contemporary Art in Jerusalem, very easy to remember, which promotes the local art scene. And I do this virtually online, organizing an Instagram page and a website and a Facebook page. Where I'm able to digitally, share what's happening in the contemporary art scene with an international audience, and also organize art tours for tourists and collectors as well. And together with my partner Danielle, we're the founders of Imprint, and I'll let Danielle introduce herself, and we'll talk a bit more about the fair.
Amazing.
Danielle.
Hi, sorry, my connection is not the best. My name is Danielle Gorodenzik. I'm a writer and independent curator, and currently I'm the manager of the Africa First collection and the Art of Residency, and I'm a writer for Art She Says, As Promised Magazine, and Tel Avivian, where I met Jenna Romano, and together we created Imprint, an art book fair based in Jerusalem.
Amazing. So tell us more about the fair.
Well, the concept of the fair started years ago. I guess in 2016. Danielle and I had both, like Danielle said, we met because we were both writers for Tel Avivian magazine. But both of us at the time were living in Jerusalem, and we were very involved in Jerusalem's art scene. And the two of us met many times professionally and as friends. And a lot of our meetings, we were constantly thinking of things to do that were interesting and new in Jerusalem's art scene. We had many brainstorming sessions. One of our ideas was to have an affordable art fair. We thought of curating exhibitions together. And I think that naturally, because both of us are writers, and we're also book lovers, and we had been together to different art book fairs in Israel, and we're always following, this idea of art book fairs. It kind of naturally turned into this idea to create an art book fair in Jerusalem. Our first fair was in 2018. And Danielle, do you want to talk a bit more about the experience of creating the fair?
Yes, so we really were trying to find a way that we can support artists that are here locally in Jerusalem and also connect the Jerusalem artists internationally. So the way that the platform works, we have an open call once a year, and we review the applications with a committee, and the fair is really different than any other art book fair around the world because it's really well curated, and
We have to agree. We visited and we definitely thought so too.
Yeah, we put a lot of time into, looking over the open call applications, which is fantastic for us because we discover new artists every year. But we also put a lot of time and thought into how each table will look at the fair. Whereas like most art book fairs you go to, the tables are just, full of piles of books, which is still interesting to leaf through. We really wanted our art book fair to be a combination between the book fair and an exhibition space where people can go and they don't feel that they're there only to purchase books or potentially purchase books, but also so that they can feel free to browse through and really connect to these books as works of art in and of themselves.
Yeah, it's a bit like
the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's most exciting is that also the artists really connect, they share resources, and not only are the visitors meeting new artists, but the artists are meeting one another, and it really creates this connection and a network, and that's something that we strive for. And what we want to do is really help artists make sure that they meet one another and people can either collaborate and share resources. So that's been really great and really beneficial.
So speaking of meeting one another, how have you been coping with this situation? I know for Sarah and myself, it's really made us rethink a lot of how we do things in terms of what we communicate, and just the physical aspect of not being able to do studio visits with our artists, meetings with our clients. We've had to figure out how to do everything remotely. And really, we were kind of rethinking how we deal with communicating to our community and kind of coming together at this time. How has this made you think of the in-print community, and did it make you pivot or change your strategy at all?
Well, I think that Jenna and I have been working long distance, I guess you can say, between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. We really have unlocked as a team. So lots of our meetings are video calls. So I feel like we've adjusted
more time in Skype together than in person.
Yeah, most definitely. And I feel like this is a really great time for all of our artists to work on projects and to dream what they want to create for the next art book fair. Of course, it's a bit it's a little bit scary because there's lots of art fairs that have closed and also art book fairs, but we're really optimistic and it's an exciting event, and we're all about the tangible and being able to feel books, and we're also venturing in some digital things, and we have like our digital platform that we're all about. And Jenna, do you want to add something?
No, I would agree with that. I think that thankfully we live in a day and age where the digital platform is a part of our everyday life. So in terms of adding images to Instagram and Facebook, creating content that people can view and appreciate and be excited about from home, I think that's something that we work on year round, and so we'll continue to do that. And then we're also trying to think of clever ways to, speak to the community that's sitting at home. We thought of creating a list of book recommendations for people to read, or asking our artists to create book recommendations. I think it's definitely an opportunity to, see what our community is doing, and then bring that to our audiences on the digital space.
So speaking about recommendation, when we promoted this happy hour, we asked our community to send some questions for you. And one of the questions is from Rachel, who is asking for a recommendation about for an art book that you love these days. So maybe you want to share something?
Yeah,
Jenna?
sure.
I know what I would want to share in this.
So you start.
time?
It's so hard because there's so many art books, especially in our collection, so it's definitely hard to choose and recommend one, but you start.
Okay, I think I'll just share, I think one that's the most lighthearted, fun book that we've enjoyed the most. I feel at this time, Hedgehogopedia by Ilya Kynes. He creates these artist books that are little zines about hedgehogs, and each zine different theme, and with that theme it's a different artistic style that he is discovering as an artist, whether the theme is color or well-known hedgehogs, or Jenna, do you want to talk about the other books that he created? And I'll get a photo of it.
Okay. Yeah, he's basically like taken the opportunity to use the medium of the art book, and also, you know, the idea of being an artist and being able to interpret, you know, different topics freely. He's used this like really, you know, quirky character of the hedgehog to use his own, to like manifest his own artistic inspiration, and also to give, you know, like Danielle said, this lighthearted and fun take on the artistic process. So like Danielle said, he has the colorful hedgehog, he has the scientific Hedgehogopedia, he has the great figures Hedgehogopedia, and each one is very small and super creative, and he keeps coming out with more, so you can see how this artist is like really enthusiastic about working with this medium of art books, and kind of like testing the limits of like, where are the creative boundaries. He's come up with so many different ways of using this one image over and over again and reinventing it. If we have a picture. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
That's the, I think, scientific one, where he has the scientific name of all of the different species of hedgehogs. And then like actually he takes, the text is that he takes out from an encyclopedia, you know, like the length, the body, the weight, and a description of like the habitat where this animal lives.
So cool.
And the illustrations are all his own.
Oh, I love this.
Oh, yeah. Very clever series.
Super interesting.
Pleasure.
Business and pleasure, yeah.
So I feel like this is definitely a book that's lighthearted, fun, and great for this time right now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love it.
So,
Hands one day.
One day.
So our last question for today, we know that Israel is kind of divided into two major art hubs, Tel Aviv, where Sarah and I are based, and Jerusalem, which you are the utmost experts on the Jerusalem art scene. So is there anything you can recommend to our listeners that they can do right now from home to experience some of the Jerusalem art scene?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, the Israel Museum now has virtual tours on their website. You can go through pretty much all of the galleries from your computer.
Amazing.
And then also the Jerusalem Artist House, which is like a very well-known establishment here in Jerusalem. And it's a contemporary art gallery with amazing exhibitions that change like every 2 months. They just set up also like a virtual tour of their current exhibition, which is fantastic because there are 4 really great shows there right now. And unfortunately, I think that people won't be able to actually see them in person. Mm-hmm. And then they also did another really nice series that you can find on their websites called Sequences. And it's a series of about 15 interviews with Jerusalem-based artists.
Oh,
Some of them are in Hebrew and some of them are in English. And these are really nice to watch. And they're all local Jerusalem-based artists from different generations. So I think it's actually like a very nice look into the local art scene and what it means to be an artist working in Jerusalem and being from Jerusalem.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the amazing recommendations.
And we want to say thanks so much for joining us today. If people want to, follow you, get information about you, where should they do that? Where do you want?
You can follow our Instagram.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this is gonna be posted on Instagram, so
yeah, our Instagram and our Facebook, and I feel like those are the two top places.
Cool.
Definitely to.
So you're just in print on Instagram and Facebook.
In print.
Yes, in print. JLL.
Awesome.
Great. Yeah. So we want to say thank you, Danielle and Jenna, and thank you everyone for joining us today. If you wanna, if you have like ideas for other guests you'd like us to host on our happy hours, feel free to comment below. And keep safe, stay home. We love you all, and bye bye. Hi.
Hopefully we can see you soon in person. Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Thank you.